Hello and welcome to Ground Zero, where I discuss different topics such as movies, video games, and TV shows. This this week's topic is Game of Thrones, and I have my friend Evan because I don't remember anything from the show, and he remembers most of it. He's also looking up summaries from the show just in case he forgets something. So, start it off.
All right, so I guess we're just gonna hop right in it.
Yes, we are.
Season one, 2011. Story begins as such. Members of the Night's Watch, an ancient order guarding the wall to the north of the Westeros, encounter a supernatural being known as the White Walker in the forest.
That early? Was
Huh?
that like before they show anyone?
At the very beginning, it opens up to people of the Night's Watch out in the forest. They're out there trying to track down some wildlings they believe hunted down and killed a nearby village. So, as they go out, he finds a whole bunch of massacred bodies in a weird alignment to represent a spiral. As he runs away in terror back to the other members of the Night's Watch, he claims that he saw the bodies, brings them back to where they were, and turns out there weren't any bodies or any blood right where he came back. So they start hearing some noises. They're like, come on, let's just find the wildlings. We need to do our mission. So as he's like, no, we gotta leave. Something's up. He ignores them, and then the White Walkers come out of the forest and just slaughter them one by one. Leaves one person alive to go like tell the others, like, hey, we're back. We're not dead. Haha. So that's where that, starts off.
And then it goes to the main cast of people.
Then it goes to Ned Stark. So if you desert the Night's Watch, you're a traitor. It's punishable by death. So you're gonna get decapitated. Period. Like that's it. So Ned shifts to Ned Stark with Jon, Robb, and Bran, with the one member of the Night's Watch, the deserter, about to be decapitated. He's like, any last words? The White Walkers are coming. He's like, yeah, right. And he swings the sword and he's dead. That's how the show begins. So, back to the summary. Ned Stark, Warden of the North, is visited by Winterfell by Robert Baratheon.
I don't know who that is.
He's the king right now of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay. He sits on the throne?
Yes, the Iron
Okay.
Throne. He's the one that killed Rhaegar Targaryen. Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't know who that is.
And is invited to serve by his side following the sudden death of Jon Arryn, the previous Hand of the King. Stark's daughters Sansa and Arya travel with him to King's Landing, but find the corrupt city-state in disarray. The family of the Baratheon's bride, Cersei Lannister. I hate Cersei. Oh my gosh.
Is that the lady?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
queen. The brother-loving queen. Are allegedly behind the killing of Arryn. His son Bran.
Who's Aaron?
Jon Arryn, the previous Hand of the King.
Oh.
You find out he's poisoned later, but that's a whole different story. His son Bran witnesses Cersei in bed with her brother Jaime, who shoves him from the tower window, leaving Bran paralyzed.
I remember that.
Because, why not, right? Tyrion Lannister, a dwarf delinquent, accompanies Ned Stark's bastard son, Jon Snow.
Well, the summer's just gonna skip them getting wolves? Or does that happen later?
That happens on their walk back after the execution, from him decapitating the deserter. To investigate accompanies Ned Bastard's son, Jon Snow, to investigate the White Walker incident reported by the Night's Watch. Snow stays on with the order. Tyrion is arrested at the behalf of Catelyn Stark, who believes he is responsible for Bran's fall, prompting a trial by combat to secure his release. Tyrion, imprisoned in the Vale, under a watchful eye of Catelyn Stark's sister, Lysa Arryn.
Is that the redhead?
No, that's Sansa Stark. Lysa Arryn is the creepy aunt who is the leader of the Vale.
Does she die?
Yeah, she gets pushed from the moon door.
Like season 1?
No, not season one.
I don't
So
remember.
spoiler.
I don't remember.
But yeah, she's creepy. She has a weird relationship with her son. He's like 10 and he still breastfeeds, so
Oh, I remember that. They live on that high place.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
it's kind of creepy. All right, so Snow stays on with the Order. Tyrion is arrested at the behalf of Catelyn Stark, who believes him responsible for Bran's fall, prompting a trial by combat to secure his release. Tyrion, imprisoned in the Vale under the watchful eye of Catelyn Stark's sister Lysa Arryn, enlists Bronn to fight for him. He defeats Arryn's chosen champion. So later on, after all that, the king,
The Stark guy?
no, the king, Robert Baratheon, that's it. He goes out on a hunting trip because he says killing is the only thing that can ease him, you know? I don't know, he's weird. He just likes to kill stuff. So he goes and hunt wild boar. He gets crazily drunk, and he gets stabbed in the chest by the boar. So he's not doing too well. He's fatally wounded. Ned is named the protector of the realm until Cersei's sadistic son, Joffrey.
Who's Ned?
Ned Stark.
What's he look like?
He's the Lord of Winterfell. You know the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy. Until Joffrey comes of age. Ned, however, plans to install Stannis Baratheon, Robert's older brother, as the king. So Ned is betrayed by the counselor Lord Peter Littlefinger Baelish and decapitated on Joffrey's orders. Arya and Sansa both see, the father get decapitated. Sansa faints,
I remember that.
which I think is hilarious, but,
I remember they got separated, I think, at that point.
Yeah, so Sansa is arrested by the Lannisters. Arya manages to escape because one of the people from the Night's Watch, who's recruiting prisoners for the Watch, takes Arya in, and they go on and leave King's Landing. Sansa's not that lucky, no. She has to stay behind. So, in response, Robb Stark, Ned Stark's son, is named King of Winterfell and rallies the armies of the North against the Lannisters. Across the Narrow Sea, Dothraki warlord Khal Drogo marries Daenerys Targaryen. She believes herself to be the true heir of the Iron Throne and plots an assault on Westeros.
I remember they put a melting gold crown on her brother's head.
Which was awesome. Love that effect. Her brother was not a true dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon.
I'm pretty sure they did the same thing to her. She would probably have died at that
No.
point.
Fire doesn't phase her. She can't get hurt by fire. That's why, because Targaryens of true blood are supposed to be basically fireproof. So when they poured the molten gold crown on him, it was like crown fit for a king. He died. But Daenerys was like, true king, whatever. But anyways, Drogo dies after being hexed by a witch. The witch only life can give life or whatever. So Daenerys at the time was pregnant with Drogo's baby, the mount that will rule the world or something like that. The baby dies, miscarriage, because the witch performed some creepy blood magic on Drogo, and then Drogo was in a paralysis state.
Didn't they have the dragon eggs in season 1, or is that?
They had the dragon eggs.
Okay.
It was a gift at the wedding, at the Khaleesi's wedding. So, yeah, Drogo's dead.
Didn't they hatch too in season 1?
They hatch at the end of season 1 when she burns the witch, I think.
I remember they were in a tent.
Yeah.
And then she kind of walked out.
So Drogo's dead. Daenerys avenges him and hatches 3 dragon eggs presented to her as wedding gifts. Yeah, let's look at that. That closes season 1. So, we're on to season 2. Summary begins. Tyrion takes up the post of the hand in the hope of reining in Joffrey. Joffrey's all out of whack, decapitating.
Didn't no one like him?
Nobody likes him. I don't even think his mother likes him. Okay? But
He was there. He was around.
I was so happy when the wolf bit his hand. But, okay. Oh, yeah. Sansa's wolf. Ned killed it. Season 1. Anyways, Tyrion takes that post to the hand. Stannis falls under the spell of the witch Melisandre and publicly lays claim to the Iron Throne on the basis of Joffrey's legitimacy. I mean, he was correct. You know, Joffrey wasn't a true Baratheon. Don't know how they couldn't figure it out. Everybody in the Baratheon family has, like, brown eyes, brown hair. Joffrey's blonde hair, blue eyes. But, anyways, Robb's armies progress south with Jaime Lannister as their prisoner of war. Robb sends Theon Greyjoy to seek an alliance with his father, Bolton Greyjoy, leader of the Iron Islands.
So those are the people with the boats.
Yeah, they're on. I don't know why they call it the Iron Islands. Maybe got a lot of iron, but they're the one with the Iron Fleet, secluded off from Westeros. But it's pretty cool place. Yeah. So, Balon Greyjoy with his father. So instead, Theon reunites with his family on the Iron Islands, and together they capture Winterfell. Wow, am I right? Robb sends them to go make an alliance. He instead turns back, captures Winterfell, Robb's home. So I mean, you do what you want.
Wasn't there a lady that was a witch or whatever, and then she wanted some girl to be burned?
That's Melisandre, yeah.
I don't know if that was season 2.
Not season 2. It's later on. But season 2 is where Renly refuses to join Catelyn's forces to take over the throne, and is murdered by an evil spirit that Melisandre sent after him. So
that's the evil lady? Okay.
The red-haired witch. So Catelyn and Renly's bodyguard, Brienne of Tarth, are accused of the assassination of Renly Baratheon and are forced to flee. United with Robb Stark once more, the women conspire to have Jaime Lannister return to King's Landing in hopes of swapping him for Sansa. But that doesn't really work out. But you'll find that out later. At the Wall, Jon uncovers evidence of infant sacrifices and defects from Night's Watch to join the Wildlings. Arya is captured by Lannister soldiers and imprisoned at the castle of Harrenhal and taken on as a servant by Patriarch Tywin Lannister. He's like not the king, but basically everybody does what he wants. So
is he the guy that ends up getting the gold hand?
No, that's Jaime Lannister's son. Tywin Lannister, the one that gets shot on the toilet.
Oh, I remember that.
Pretty cool dude. So Tywin Lannister believes Arya to be a boy after she cut her hair, etc. She escaped with the aid of Jaqen H'ghar, one of the faceless men of Essos.
I remember him. He was cool.
Crazy good assassin, let me tell you. So, Stannis attempts to invade King's Landing by sea, but his forces are defeated in a naval battle by Tyrion's cunning use of wildfire. Wildfire was, you know, the green fire.
Mm-hmm. Greek fire.
Huh?
Greek fire?
Yeah, practically. Meanwhile, across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys arrives in Qarth, hoping to gain the support for her invasion of Westeros. She ends up imprisoned in the House of the Undying with the warlock dude. I don't know if he's powerful, but it's kind of creepy. He had like purple stained lips, he was bald, wore a purple robe. Creepy dude. Anyways, she ends up being in prison in the House of the Undying along with her dragons after being drawn into an absurd... Okay, so she was...
Usurpation.
I'm sorry. Plot. She eventually escapes and pillages the city. So at that point, the dragons are no bigger than cats. Barely took on that one dude. I don't know how, but that's the ending of season 2. Which brings us to...
season 3.
Yay! So Tyrion is demoted by the Hand, Tywin, who blames Tyrion for causing his wife's death at childbirth and forces him to marry Sansa Stark. Now there's a big age difference here. I'm talking like 20 years.
But that's like way back when, where it was normal.
Yeah, but you know, neither of them are happy about it, Tyrion nor Sansa. So, Joffrey is engaged to Margaery Tyrell, Renly's widow, in the hopes of establishing a Lannister-Tyrell alliance. Margaery Tyrell she's a gold digger. I'm gonna be real. She's a gold digger. All she wanted was to be queen. Not a queen, but the queen of the Seven Kingdoms. So, she married her way in. Beyond the Wall, Jon Snow encounters wildling leader Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall, who anticipates a battle to the death with the White Walkers. Snow finds himself in a complex relationship with his one-time prisoner, Ygritte. Ygritte was one of the wildlings that he captured, and he was all alone, and he got captured by all the rest of the wildlings with Mance Rayder. Men of the Night's Watch aren't supposed to have relationships with women.
Isn't that when Sam met that one also?
And that's a bit later on, but not too far off. So, Jon didn't stay true to his vows. Well, I mean, who can blame him? So, Robb decides against marrying Rosalind Frey after falling in love with Talisa, a healer. In order to pass the Twin Towers, I think that's what it's called, Robb had to marry one of the Frey's daughters. He's like, you can have any pick you want. He's like, alright, bet. I'm gonna marry one of your daughters. I'm gonna go through. It's gonna be great.
Isn't that the guy that
The old
sits
dude,
in that
Walder
old
Frey.
hall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's like, I gotta get past the bridge, but he's like, oh no, I've fallen in love. Man. So he goes against the Frey's wishes, and they're not too happy about that, as you'll find out in the end of the season. So the Starks are invited to her wedding to another, which turns out to be a trap sprung by Rosalind's resentful father, Lord Walder Frey. He's not too happy that he went back on his word. Robb, Catelyn, and pregnant Talisa and the Bannermen are all butchered at their reception, with the blessing of the Lannisters. Their killings are witnessed by Arya, who finds a reluctant protector in Sandor the Hound. Sandor Clegane. Pretty cool dude. Half of his face is burned off by his older brother.
I remember him. It wasn't that called the Red Wedding?
The Red Wedding, yes. For reasons, blood.
Reasons.
Yeah. So, for the massacre, Roose Bolton is made Warden of the North. Everywhere else, Bran Stark discovers he can protect himself in the body of a direwolf. Brienne and Jaime continue their journey south, and Daenerys gains an army of 8,000 Unsullied in the east.
What does it mean by in the body of a direwolf?
So Bran is known as the Three-Eyed Raven.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was when he was able to go inside the mind.
Yeah, he basically puts his mind into other things.
Okay,
he ends up controlling Hodor later on, but he was he thought he was dreaming at first, because he would wake up from the dream of being a direwolf, walking around, killing, eating. He's like, I could taste the blood in my mouth and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, they later on travel past the wall to meet the actual Three-Eyed Raven, which is pretty cool. But that's a whole another story for the other season, which I'm about to get to. So, season 4. Joffrey meets his end after being served poisoned wine at the wedding with Margaery Tyrell. He's marrying Margaery, drinks a cup of wine, it's poison. Who could do it? Oh no, who did it? Sansa is smuggled to freedom with the assistance of Littlefinger, who takes her to Lysa Arryn. Lysa Arryn is the creepy, jealous aunt of Sansa, the one that breastfeeds her 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Weird lady. Anyways, Arryn proves to be an unfit guardian for Sansa, having lost her mind. She is killed by Lord Baelish, whom she expects to marry, and as she attempts to push Sansa from the moon door to her death. So, Peter Baelish comes in and is like, whoa, I only ever loved one woman.
Wasn't that the guy with the really short mustache?
Yeah, the really creepy guy, Hitler stash, all that. He's like, I only love one woman. She's like, oh, I'm so touched. It's me, isn't it? She's like, Catelyn Stark. And then he pushes her through the moon door. She falls thousands of feet to her death. I love that scene. So after that, Peter Baelish has control of the air, or the Vale, I mean. Jaime, who has just lost his hand after being taken in by Ramsay Bolton's men. Brienne and Jaime arrive in King's Landing to find Sansa has escaped. Brienne, now a knights errant, is tasked with tracking down the missing Stark princess. A distraught Cersei blames Tyrion for the death of her son. When his champion, Oberyn Martell, is defeated in trial by combat against Gregor the Mountain Clegane, Tyrion is imprisoned once more. The Mountain, I don't know if you remember this, but the Mountain grabbed Oberyn's skull,
I remember.
pushed down and squashed his head in the pavement. Beautiful scene. Beautiful. Really brings out the love, you know? So after Tyrion is in prison, he is freed by Jaime. The dwarf discovers his father in bed with his mistress, Shay, and executes him by crossbow on the toilet. So, Shay was like the first woman he actually loved. No, the second woman he actually loved. But she actually loved him back. He was threatened by his father that if he didn't keep his distance from any prostitutes, that they would be killed, slaughtered, or whatever, or hung. Have what? So he pushes her away, mean to her, calls her names, etc. Does anything to get her away from him. Meanwhile, he goes into the room and he finds his dad and Shay. She's like, "Oh, Lord Lannister or whatever, Lord Tywin. Oh, are you back?" He's just like, "Excuse me?"
I felt like it would have been easier if you just told her what was going on.
Yeah, but you know,
it's a show and they have to have
tugging at heartstrings here. She's shocked. It's Tyrion. Tyrion's shocked. He's not Tywin, so he does what any reasonable person would do: grabs a gold necklace and chokes her out. She's dead. He finds his father on the toilet. He tries to it's just a prostitute. Chill. It's okay. Tyrion's not buying any of that. Loads his crossbow. He's like, "What are you gonna do with that? Shoot me?" He shoots him twice, and he dies. That's it for Tywin. He's gone. Okay, so
it wasn't that important anyways.
Yeah, he's just like, you know, powerful dude with lots of money. Wasn't that important though. Tyrion crosses the narrow sea in hopes of meeting Daenerys, whom he believes can defeat Cersei. Of course, he has to run after, killing his father, Lannister, Roose Bolton returns to Winterfell from the Red Wedding to find that his vicious son, Ramsay Bolton, has tortured Theon to the point of madness, so much as now he only answers the name of Reek. Now, Ramsay Bolton, unlike Joffrey, he's like a lovable villain, even though he's a horrible dude.
Villain.
He's like interesting, like, alright.
Like, he isn't just mean, he's actually smart.
Yeah. He's a fool, He's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Flays people alive, cuts off Theon's
ding dong.
Yeah. Not only that, he sent it to his father. So, you got that going for you. So in the north, Jon Snow returns home for the Wildling camp to warn the Night's Watch of Mance Rayder's advancing forces, who duly lay siege to Castle Black. Stannis Baratheon and remaining men ride to the rescue, now backed by the financiers of the Iron Bank. Arya and the Hound are found by Brienne, who defeats Clegane in battle. Arya runs away to study under the mysterious Jaqen H'ghar at the House of the Black and White in Braavos. So the Hound was crippled by Brienne of Tarth. Arya takes his money and leaves. Just leaves him there to die. I thought it was pretty cool. Because Arya has this list of people to kill, you remember?
Yeah.
And so obviously she wants to do some damage on that list. The Hound's just one of those names crossed off.
I remember they kind of gave her a training montage.
Oh yeah, at the House of the Black and White.
Yeah. I remember they made her be blind for a week.
That was punishment because of something in season 5, as we're gonna get to right now. So season 5, Stannis has defeated Raider, and Stannis has defeated Mance Rayder. He was tied to a stake and burned alive. Jon Snow saw pity on him, shot him through the heart with an arrow. People weren't too happy about it. They were like, "You should have let him burn at the stake. What's wrong with you?" So, the elders of the guard weren't that happy with Jon Snow's decision. Stannis is later convinced by Melisandre to sacrifice his own daughter to appease the Lord of the Light and hold back the winter snows. He burns her alive, losing a lot of respect from his own troops.
Didn't she have that rock disease thing?
Grayscale. But it was only a little while she was a baby. And just started as she a baby. They caught it at the right time, right when it started, so it was easily cured. Not so much if it's everywhere. You're gone. You're dead. Stop. But I found it funny because in that scene, he's just like, "Yeah, I'm doing the right thing, burn my daughter at a stake." And then the mom's like, "Yeah, we're doing it. Wait, this isn't right. And so she tries to stop it, but she's held back. She's like, no, honey, it's okay. Trust me. The daughter burns alive. So, yeah. Littlefinger leads Sansa to Ramsay Bolton with the intention of marrying them, an event that would mean the return of the Starks to Winterfell. Ramsay's not the most gentle person in the world, so he's not very nice to Sansa. So Stannis arrives to fight the Boltons, but is easily dispatched when his men desert over doubts of his pagan zealotry. He is slain by Bran of Tarth, who followed Sansa to Winterfell. As Melisandre escapes to Castle Black, Sansa manages to escape Ramsay's clutches. She escapes only because of Theon. Theon's like, oh, Sansa, you're here. I'm so sorry. On all this stuff. I'm
thought
sorry.
Ramsay died already.
Ramsay dies later on in the Battle of the Bastards.
Hmm.
So,
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of the kid that was poisoned.
Joffrey. Yeah. Hated that kid. Anyways. So Sansa manages to escape Ramsay's clutches, and at King's Landing, Cersei is conspiring against her daughter-in-law, Marjorie. Cersei doesn't really like anybody at all.
Except
Like-
her brother.
I'm not even sure she likes him at a lot of the time, you know. But Marjorie, she really hates because she's like trying to, you know, become queen.
Wasn't that the lady that
Marjorie
wears the
Tyrell.
veil?
Yeah. So she marries Joffrey's naive younger brother, Tommen, and is now king. She went from Renly Baratheon, who was supposed king. Then she went to Joffrey Baratheon, who was king. And now she's going to Tommen, next in line for king. She really wants to be queen, alright? So they get along great. But Cersei doesn't really like that. After weaponizing the High Sparrow leader of a cult, they got a cult, King's Landing. Not that good of a cult. Pretty messed up.
Wasn't that just the church?
Pretty much. Cersei and her, like, scandalous sexual desires, I would say, you know, with her brother. That's exposed, and she is forced to enact humiliated naked walk of penance through the streets of the capital.
Wasn't someone else sent there because he was having sex with a guy too?
Yep, that was Loras Tyrell. Marjorie Tyrell's younger brother, I want to say. But
Did they say what happened to him? Because I don't remember what happened to him.
he becomes... Yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. Because, it's pretty big. So, Daenerys takes over the city of Meereen with her own sullied army. However, she struggles to retain control of the desert slave city, which has this like little group, terrorist group called the Sons of the Harpy.
Mm.
They rise up against her. So they have this fighting arena, and she sort of uses that to her advantage in keeping peace with the city. She doesn't agree with all the fighting, but the city wants what the city wants. So the Sons of the Harpy ambush this little arena, and she starts killing people left and right, random people. She rides off on one of her dragons in the midst of that whole battle, lands in this gigantic field. Dragon flies away. She's like, really? You know? He fly me here just to go away. At this time, the dragon's kind of disobedient.
Mm-hmm.
But now a Dothraki horde swoops her way. So, I mean, I guess that's good that she goes back with the Dothraki. But, you know. Tyrion meets Daenerys and wins her trust quickly and is left to rule in her absence. So Tyrion's in control of that city while Daenerys is away with the Dothraki horde. In the north, Jon Snow takes a group of Night Watchermen to meet with the Wildlings in hope of forming an alliance. As negotiations are ongoing, the Night King breaks up their meeting and scores a devastating victory. Upon returning to the Wall, a band of mutineering watchmen have Snow run through.
Isn't
So-
that when the giant guy died?
No, one's still alive.
Mm.
Or is it Yun? Something like that. It's weird. So, that was the Battle of Cold Harbor, I believe. massacred hundreds of thousands of wildlings, just massacred, you know. And then at the end, while they're on the boats back to Castle Black, he's just like, Night King just raises his arms. They all rise up. He's just like, come on, like, you gotta love it. But as Jon Snow arrives at Castle Black with a couple thousand wildlings, wildlings and the Night's Watchmen don't get along at all. Period. They hate each other. But Jon's like, look, army of the dead or alive. Like, what do you want? You want them dead or alive? So they don't agree with that at all. At this point, Jon's the leader, the Lord of the Night's Watch.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, hey, I don't approve of this, Jon. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna stab you multiple times in the gut, because that's what cool people do, right? Jon gets stabbed multiple times. He dies. Scene fades. That's it.
Kind of feels like a reference to Caesar.
Yeah, a little bit. They don't approve of his actions. They stab him.
37
Period.
times.
But on top of that, in King's Landing, Cersei, you know, has some little scheming to do. Remember the fire? Dragon's fire? What was it called?
Greek fire?
Not Greek fire.
Are you talking about the bombs?
Wildfire, that's it, yeah. She's been using that, building it all under the Sept. So when everybody important is there, Marjorie Tyrell, all those people, they're there. They get blown to smithereens. Sky high, baby. All of that. Ashes.
And then that
instantly.
kid, he jumps off the
Tommen.
ceiling.
Cersei
Whatever.
ordered Tommen to stay home. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, it'll be there a little late. It's okay. We'll make it. He's like, no, I want to see Marjorie. I love her. Oh my gosh. Blows up. He sees that happen. He sees it in the distance. He's like, really? Like, really, Mom? So he does what any normal person would do under that stress and takes a swan dive off the roof.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Perfect form, everything. It was great. But that's the end of season
5.
5. So season 6 begins after Jon Snow is raised from the dead by Melisandre, that
The witch lady.
The Revenant King takes back control of the Night's Watch and plans to reclaim Winterfell from Ramsay Bolton. So the deal with the Night's Watch is you are bound until death. So he just died, so he's like, I'm out. Sorry guys, you're the Lord of the Night's Watch now. That's what's up. And he hangs everybody who just turned on him. He's like, I don't care if you're 12, you stabbed me, you're gonna get hanged.
Fair is fair.
Fair is fair. So he tries to reclaim Winterfell. He's reunited Sansa at the Wall. So before the Battle of the Bastards starts, that's what the main battle between Winterfell and Ramsay Bolton, right? Ramsay lets go of Rickon because they took Rickon prisoner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Rickon's running over. He's like, you got 3 seconds. Start running, boy. So he gets like 200 yards out. Ramsay shoots a couple arrows, land right by his side for him. He just runs straight. He doesn't like zigzag, not
Zigzag formation.
straight. So the third arrow hits Rickon through the heart. He's just like, just lying there on the ground. Jon runs up to him. He's like, Rickon, don't die.
Didn't Sam at one point leave to go learn stuff?
Yes, but I believe that's right about this time. Sam goes to the Citadel to learn how to become a maester to replace Aemon Targaryen, which was the old maester at the Night's Watch at Castle Black. So he aims to become a maester, but it's not all, fine and dandy as it seems. But I think that's next season.
Mm.
So Ramsay loses the Battle of the Bastards. The Giant's killed, which is sad. I love the Giant. And Ramsay's fed to his dogs. So he's like, these dogs are so loyal, cray loyal. Like, let me tell you.
He says as he starves them.
Yeah. He's like, they'll never turn on me. And Sansa's like, even if you haven't fed them in a week? That's what I thought. Opens up the cage. They jump on him. They're dead. Period. So, it's pretty touching, right? In King's Landing, Cersei faces trials by the High Sparrow. So, yeah. The Queen Mother finally takes the matters into her own hands by blowing up the Great Sept. Yeah. Joffrey killed himself. Not Joffrey, I'm sorry, Tommen. Which is all fine and dandy. Daenerys is now a prisoner of the Dothraki. Which is kind of weird considering how she married into the Dothraki.
Didn't she have to like be with a whole other group of ladies?
Yeah.
And then she burned them down.
The Khalasar. Yeah, they didn't think highly of her.
Because she wasn't Dothraki.
Yeah, she wasn't a Khal. But, so, she soon persuades the people, the Dothraki, to... She proves her divine power by walking through fire unharmed. Alright, so all the leaders of the Dothraki are in this one tent.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking like, yeah, you know, come back Khaleesi, what's up? You know? You need a cow, big strong cow. So she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Pushes over
Pillar of fire.
Pillar of fire. And it ignites on the ground because they have a whole bunch of flammable stuff
sand.
next to them. So it's just like, huh. So that only one way, one out tent burst into flames. All those people die. She's like, as all the leaders die, I guess she's the only one left. She's like, look, I just came out of a burning tent. You know, there's nothing left, just ashes around here. I'm okay, so worship me. What's up?
You think she would die from smoke inhalation?
Got a point, but oh well.
It's a show.
You know. So, Daenerys is now the leader of the Dothraki. Theon, free of his ordeal at the hands of Ramsay, returns to the Iron Islands, where he conspires with his sister, Yara Greyjoy, to steal the royal fleet from their uprising uncle, Euron Greyjoy. Fun fact, he kills Bayon Greyjoy. He just pushes him over the edge of this like one rope bridge, and he falls down into the rocks. So that's pretty cool. They sail to Essos and join Daenerys Targaryen's cause, leaving the House of Black and White. As an elite assassin, Arya avenges her brother and mother by slitting the throat of Walder Frey. So that happened. Bran, who has been training as a three-eyed raven, encounters the Night King, who slays his master, enabling the pupil to succeed him. So Arya kills one of the people on her list when she was not supposed to. She wasn't told to, so as a result, Jaqen H'ghar blinds her, which is pretty
Harsh.
Pretty harsh punishment, yeah. But you know, she ends up getting her vision back in the end. So I guess it's okay. But oh, I'm sorry.
I said magic.
But which brings me to the Wall. Bran sees the Night King of the vision. He's like, I think I can handle these visions by myself now. Let me try. He touches the special tree. You know the one in Winterfell, the red tree?
Yeah.
He touches one of those, goes into the vision. He sees the army of undead. He's walking in the vision. They all turn. He was like, whew, okay. That's creepy. The Night King, he turns to his side. He sees the Night King. The Night King grabbed his arm, leaving like a frostburn or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets out. He's like, okay, just vision. We're all good. The three other ravens like, what'd you do? He's like, yep, you screwed up. You screwed up, bud. Now the Night King can get past their magical barrier into the place where they're at.
That makes no sense.
Well, the children of the forest are with the three-eyed raven.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of skilled at magic and stuff. So they got this like little special barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like to hide them off. But now the Night King knows where they are. So the Night King just walks right in and he's like, Also, you know, like that meme with SpongeBob?
Mhm.
Better whip up those fryers. Anyways, he walks in, slashes the three-eyed raven, right?
Mhm.
Before the three-eyed raven dies, he's like, how will I know if I'm ready to be your successor? He's like, you're not, period. Like, you're not ready. But it's too late. You screwed up. So Bran, with a couple other people, leave Hodor. This is the saddest scene, I think. Hodor's death. Spoiler.
All of this is a spoiler.
Yeah, yeah. So, Hodor, this is like probably the best like character development I've ever seen in a show. Because
I remember this. This is when Bran kind of goes back in time, and young Hodor kind of hears
just
everything.
screws up Hodor's life.
Yeah.
His name was William, and he could talk perfectly, okay? And then he's just like, you need to hold the door, Hodor. He takes control of Hodor, kind of like manipulates the past.
Mhm.
And so Hodor, or William, having a seizure on the ground, starts screaming, hold the door, as he's holding the door for Bran and the other lady to escape the White Walkers. He's holding the door still. Always starts screaming, hold the door, and he keeps saying that repeatedly until it just starts sounding Hodor, which is, you know, all he can say in the end, and that ends up being his name. So Hodor dies.
Definitely gonna see White Walker Hodor.
I don't know what I'd do if I see White Walker Hodor. Would I be happy? Would I be relieved? I don't know. But like, sad that he dies. It's also kind of messed up that Bran just messes up his life just so he can hold a door, you know?
I feel like even if he didn't do that, he would have held the door.
Probably. But didn't gotta, you know, take away his speech for that, you know? That's kind of messed up. But, so, we are on season 7 now. Alright. So Daenerys heads to Dragonstone. Dragonstone was the first base of operations that the Targaryens made when coming to Westeros, alright? So,
Isn't that stuff that
That's
kills
where she
White
was born.
Walkers? Oh,
Huh?
never mind.
that's Dragon Glass. Fun fact, they find out in this season that Dragonstone sits on a mountain of dragon glass. I mean, I guess that's convenient, you
So
know?
creative naming right there.
Dragonstone, Dragon Glass. Maybe that's why they created it, I don't know. But, anyways, she takes her massive army of Unsullied and Dothraki aboard the Frey ships. Melisandre encourages her to court Jon Snow as an ally in the battle for the Iron Throne. After receiving an invitation for Daenerys, Snow goes to meet her at Dragonstone.
I remember this is when she had like that whole name.
This
thing.
is where it gets spicy, let me tell you.
No, I remember because she starts saying her name and it takes like 10 minutes to say her whole title.
Yeah. It's like, really?
And then he's
Arthur
like,
sounds
I'm Jon
nicer?
Snow.
I saw this one,
Meme, I saw that too.
Alright, so now go in and be like, this is Jon Snow, Lord of the Night's Watch, Lord of Winterfell, the Undead, and all this stuff, right? Go in there and tell me that, Lord Davos. He's like, alright, I got you, bro. After the entire name of Queen Daenerys, she's like, this is Jon Snow. Yeah. But I love Lord Davos, he's awesome. Fun fact, he was, he loved, the daughter, the one with the
I remember
grayscale.
her. Didn't she teach him how to read?
Yeah, she taught him how to read and everything. Loved her as his own daughter, only to find out later on that she was burned at the stake. Before Stannis died, he just like, Dad was just like, you know what? Forget you. I'm out. You killed my friend. I loved her, man. You killed her? Really? But, anyways, so, Jon Snow goes to meet her at Dragonstone. The pair grow very close, and they plan to defeat the Lannisters and the White Walkers. They decide to send Yara and the Unsullied to King's Landing. That doesn't go too. But it doesn't go too well. Cersei considers a marriage proposal from Euron Greyjoy and offers him a chance to prove himself by defeating the incoming invaders. Yara and her army are defeated at sea by Euron. Euron caught them totally by surprise. Just massacred all their entire fleet, their people.
Is that the uncle?
Yeah. He's not my favorite villain. Ramsay has to be my all-top favorite. But,
You can't have favorites in this show. They'll die.
well, Ramsay's already dead, so, Is it too late to say sorry? Anyways, so Yara is defeated. Yara is captured. Theon escapes by going overboard. All the sand snakes are dead. The sand snakes were, I wouldn't call them elite because they died easy, but I'm gonna say high-class warriors from Dorne. They were Oberyn and Tyrell's daughters, I want to say, or relatives. They all die, just dead, like that. I really like them too.
Couldn't afford to keep them in the show.
Yeah, cost you way too much money, am I right? All right. So meanwhile, a battle erupts between the Dothraki and the Lannisters. Daenerys' dragon Drogon is injured by a specifically designed ballista during the fray. So it's like a gigantic metal crossbow. Okay, shoots it. They're like, yeah, it works perfectly well. Trust me. Look at it go through this dried up, weakened dragon skull. Watch. Goes through the dragon skull, no problem. So it's like, that should work. But dragons have a whole bunch of muscle and stronger bones, so it's just
And
like
scales.
Yeah. So it just like gets stuck right there. And Daenerys, just to prove how like weak it is to the dragon, it's just like it's out. Like, but I mean, Drogon is injured at that point because in the battle a couple seasons ago, he was injured in the fighting pits by spears. So they're like, yeah, let's just make a bigger spear, because that'll work. So having seen the dragon, Jaime warns Cersei of Daenerys' power. Jaime's like, look, that dragon massacred all my troops. You need to watch out, because like, what you're doing right now isn't working. Like, that thing, it didn't work, okay? You need to step up your game.
Isn't it when Sam's dad and brother got burned?
That's after they capture all the Lannister troops, and they're like, bend the knee or dying. That's what's up. Like, bend. If you ain't bending, you dying. They refuse, and Sam Tarly's dad, as he refused his brother's stuff, he's like, I refuse too. I want to be cool. Die an honorable death. Then he's like, all right, bet. Timmy's like, whoa. You can't just be burning people at the stake like this. It's like, I gave him a choice. I gotta be feared. It's what's up. She burns them alive in front of all the troops, and they're like, I'm gonna get on my knee now, so don't come spitting that fire this way. So as Jaime warns Cersei of Daenerys' power, Jon and Daenerys decide to call a truce with Cersei and head north of the wall to capture a White Walker. He's like, no way Cersei's gonna take my word for it. She killed my dad. So they go beyond the wall with a whole bunch of people. The Hound,
The one guy with the flaming sword,
that guy.
and then other irrelevant people.
Yeah. The priest that brings that guy back to life. But anyways, they go behind the wall. Jon succumbs to the Night King's trap and requires saving by Daenerys. In the process, they capture a White Walker but lose a dragon named Viserion. Viserion, that's
Such a
my
trade-off right there.
least favorite dragon. So like I could care less. It's a dragon, I know it's sad, but he's my least favorite one because it's like named after her brother, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say. So, as you know, the Night King can control the dead or get back to life. So, he just like, they pull up the dragon out with chains, right? And he's like, touches it, and his eyes open blue. But the funny thing is, White Walkers can't swim. So who dove down there to put the chains on the dragon,
Well, I mean, just because they can't swim doesn't mean they can't walk back out of the water just from the bottom. Like in Pirates of the Caribbean, and all the skeletons were just climbed up the chain of the boat.
Alright, I mean, you got a point. Maybe they just like threw it down there,
Just made random guesses.
Yeah.
Maybe it's there.
It's like fishing, but with big chains. But you should have seen the way the dragon died, remember?
Mm.
It was just like...
Skills.
What's that one sport?
Javelin.
Javelin, yeah. Night Walker really needs to go and,
Compete.
yeah. Gold medal. Easy. So, Jon and Daenerys head to King's Landing to discuss teaming up with Cersei to defeat the White Walker army. They bring their captured White Walker to convince her. Jon, Daenerys, and Tyrion head back to Winterfell after the meeting. So, this is where... Oh, what's up, Doug? Okay, so Snow and Daenerys, they get busy. On
They
the
have
ship,
relations.
on the way to... Keep in mind, Jon Snow doesn't know yet, but
They're
he's really a
cousins or
Targaryen.
something.
Daenerys is his
Aunt?
aunt, yeah. But they don't know that.
Bran knows that.
Bran knows that. And Samwell Tarly figures, or he learns that out from reading one of the diaries, or not diaries, but entries.
Journals?
Yeah, at the Citadel. So, even though Cersei's like, oh yeah, fine, I believe you, it's okay. My forces will fight with you. Jaime's like, that's what's up, let's go. Gonna go fight some White Walkers. And then she's like, I only care about our family, Jaime, so sorry, not sorry, you're not going. Because I got your baby again. Apparently she's pregnant with Jaime's baby again. Jaime's like, no, I gave my word. I'm gonna go. Because I don't want to see all them people die. Because if they die, we're all dying too, so.
If you die, you die with me. Ain't no choice.
If I die, my homie gonna die too. So Arya and Sansa are reunited with Bran at Winterfell, but the tensions between the sisters emerge when they are exploited by Littlefinger. Hitler stash dude.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy dude. They find out that Littlefinger is the actual one that killed Jon Arryn, the one who caused the whole dilemma between the Lannisters and the Starks at season 1. Littlefinger was behind that all. Kind of messed up. So Bran's a three-eyed raven now, so he can see into the past and all that stuff. He's all-knowing. So he's just like, I know what you did, all right? I know what you did to my friend. So it's really cool because they played out like, Sansa calls in Arya. It's like, how do you answer these charges of treason and all this, Lord Baelish? And then he's just sitting on the ground. He's just like, yeah, how do you answer these charges? Wait, huh? Like, yeah, you heard me. Did I stutter? How do you answer these charges? So long story short, Arya takes the Valyrian steel dagger, slits his throat. He dies there on the scene. It's the most satisfying death, I think. But after he is killed, Sansa has him executed. Bran learns about Jon's true heritage. He's not, in fact, Ned Stark's son, but he's a Targaryen with a legitimate claim to the Iron Throne. Because Rhaegar Targaryen and his mother, Lyanna Stark, had him, but they had a legitimate marriage, so he's not like, a bastard with the last name of Sand or Snow or whatever. But he's a legit kid, so he can take over the Iron Throne. But nobody tells Jon that yet until next season, which is awesome. But so the Night King and the White Walkers breach the wall with the help of Viserion, because now the dragon has gone AWOL. Not AWOL, but undead.
Mm-hmm.
Blue flames, crazy cool. But they're just like, yeah, we got the wall. We're gonna stop these White Walkers and all that stuff. No way they're gonna get through us. They got a dragon. They got a what? But the dragon just takes down the wall in seconds. Fire it up. So the army of the dead rush through. Countless stream of dead people. But that's how season 7 ends. And season 8, 1 episode out right now.
Don't spoil it.
Season 8, 1 episode out right now. Go make sure you give that a watch. If you're not already caught up, don't even watch this video. Huh?
So it came out yesterday.
Yes, sir. I just got caught up with that, so.
Who do you think is gonna get the throne in the end?
I don't know, because I read a lot of the actors cried when they finished the script, reading it, because it said a whole bunch of good people died. So I don't know who's gonna be left alive, to have the Iron Throne. For all I know, it's gonna be Tormund, the wildling dude, or the Hound. But I think it's gonna be Daenerys, and I think Jon,
Just gonna be there.
it's gonna be there if he's alive,
Mm-hmm.
But
I
Yeah.
hope it's Arya. I know it's probably not, but I hope it's her.
Nah, I mean, even though that'd be a fun idea, she's not the leading type. She's more like the stabby stab type. So, it'll be funny if, like, after you, like, finish this up, edit or whatever, I was out of frame the entire time.
Oh well.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's just too much of my time.
Oh well.
But,
Only almost an hour video.
whew, wow, time well spent.
Yep.
All right.
Well, see you in the next video. Don't forget to blow up that like and subscribe button.
Add me on Instagram, EvanAlmighty05.